to talk about color pencils today because there are so many videos out there related to color pencils. So I wanted something, that felt a little bit more intentional to talk about related to how I integrated color pencils into my mixed media art kit. So I decided to share a little bit about one artist that I follow and love his style and kind of share what I like about his style and how I've incorporated some of what I've done, learned through like master studies, and then what my current favorite color palette is. So I am currently on my Pinterest, and y'all can follow my Pinterest. The link is in the description box. Um, and I have a board specifically for Yann Kebbi. So, like I said, I wanted to just share some of my favorite images of his. Um, yeah, and just show you like his style and talk through like what I like about it. So, one of the things that I really enjoy about Jan Kibbe is his sense of humor is very much on display in his art. You get a sense of who he is, because his images are so visually interesting. So that is one of the things that I am incorporating more into my work is considering like what would make the image visually interesting. And so with him, what makes his images visually interesting are the different brush strokes or color pencil strokes that he uses, the different mixed media pieces that he pulls in. The other thing that makes his images very visually interesting is also like scale. So he has a varied landscape that has like different sizes of people, places, and things in the image itself. So, like, sometimes you'll get big people, sometimes you'll get big buildings or really small people. So, I like that he plays with scale in his images, and that's another thing that makes it really interesting. So that is another kind of lesson that I took away from doing some of the master studies of his work is to play with scale. Sorry about that. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. This one is really cool. I like this image again because it's showing like different brush strokes. And I'm saying brush strokes, but I really mean like color pencil, pen stroke. I like the way that he layers color pencil on top of other materials or on top of each other to again show visually interesting images. This is another one, as you can see, varied scales, right? Like there's clearly foreground, middle ground, and background, but there's also these larger kind of images or people in the image. There are, uh, people that have like larger heads, on smaller bodies. So again, very visually interesting. There's a lot going on here. I feel like in his images, you want to look at everything. You want to come up close and see, like what he has going on. So this is a board in my Pinterest, like I mentioned, and y'all can check Y'all can check out all of the images that I have collected of his. This is another one that I've done a smaller master study on. And I just picked this part to do the master study on because, again, because he has so much going on and it's very visually interesting, you could really just focus on one aspect of his drawings, to recreate it, to look at, to reflect on and see what's happening. I really enjoy drawing this scene in the park with the different ways that he was creating shape and size here, right? The different areas where he's filled in with color, some of these places where he's left out color. So like here you see like the beginnings of potentially some legs, right? But the person has kind of disappeared just with how much is going on, in this little house, right? In this little greenhouse, basically, in the image. So I really like all of that. And this, again, has been just a place that I have returned to try to recreate and incorporate really into the way that I approach color pencil. This is another one that I've recreated. And again, because there's so much going on in this scene, I just picked out this individual and redrew him, and this was a lot of fun as well. Like I said, very visually interesting. And what makes his images visually interesting are the scale, the way that he layers color pencil on top of each other, the humor that's also depicted in his images, I think also makes them visually interesting. So that is something that I try to keep in mind when I am creating my pieces, to think about humor. Um, how can I create a mood within my images that depicts humor? This is another one. Again, talking about scale, and how he incorporates humor. So, like this one, like clearly, this is a really big guy, like hanging out of, his car. And what you're seeing here is, a everyday interaction, right? Like this guy is looking at his phone. He's parked in a parking space, and then you see all the people, all the cars surrounding him, are they have like shark fins on the top of the car because they're like eyeing him, ready for that parking spot, wishing that he would leave so that they could jump in. And then look at this guy back here with the big red face, right? Let's see if I can make it. Okay, here he is. This guy back here with the big red face, right? And then he has these little faces, right? Like peeping, peeping out of the cars, right? And then this guy is hanging out of the car to yell at him to get out of the parking space. So, again, these are the things that I really enjoy about this particular artist: the scale, how he varies his color pencil, and then again, the humor that he adds into his pieces. Okay, let's see. Um, I have some other ones in my art inspiration tab on Pinterest, but this is a good kind of overview of this particular artist. This is another one that I've recreated as well. This mixed media exploration. Oh, I don't want to do that. I just want to make it bigger. On this one, you can get a really good sense of, again, how Yann Kebbi varies his lines, how he overlaps and uses different mixed media in each of his images, how he uses scale, how humor shows up in his images. I love when he has these very like basic ways that he draws people, right? But then mixes it in with these very detailed, ways that he can draw images. So I like that one as well. Um, okay, this was a really good one. And this is a different artist. This is Saul Steinberg. But this is a really good example of how you can get a varied lines and have a very visually interesting image with varied lines. So that's something else that I tie into my color pencil approach as well. See, this is a really cool one. Again, a little bit of the humor in there. The guy kind of peeking around the corner, but again, color pencil, and I'm sure, pen and ink probably in other mediums, but for the most part, this is color pencil in this one. And you can just see again the varied line, the humor, how he layers pieces over each other, right? Is really cool. Okay. Okay, so that's all for Yann Kebbi. The next thing that I wanted to do was just share with you all um, how I've some of the pieces that I've recreated myself with color pencil. And let's see. So this is how I recreated that image of the guy that was hanging out of the car, right? And then other people in the image were circling his car. This is how I recreated that with regular. No, this is color pencil. This is a dark indigo and highlighter. Let's see. I want to keep going and just share. This is another one that I recreated with color pencil, and I really love this color palette. I'm going to show you all this color palette, but this is an image that I created after doing some brief master studies of Yann Kebbi's style and incorporated that into this color pencil drawing. And I think this one came out really cool. Like I said, I really love this is the color palette. I really love the color palette. And I really like the marks that I was able to make and the definition. Um, so yeah. And then let's see, I think is there one more? This is one that I did. It's not that great, but that's okay. I can still show y'all. Um, this is another piece that I just did, another sketch really quickly, incorporating some of the lines, and also just overlap of color pencil and color like Yann Kebbi. And then this is another one. This one has color pencil and pen. Um, so again, just recreating, attempting to incorporate those different pencil strokes, varying up the lines, overlapping the colors, using different media, incorporating different media into the pieces, mixing up the colors, you know. So this is an example of how you would incorporate some master study sessions. And I plan to do a longer video on master studies. But this is how I've been working through my color pencil process. This is another color pencil image. These are some quick sketches using color pencil as well. Same color palette. Um, Same color palette and notes down here about Yann Kebbi. I also at times will put in sticky notes and draw over those to make the image again more visually interesting. So this is another way that I'm playing around with making how to make the image visually interesting, right? How to encourage folks to stay engaged in the piece and wonder, like what's going on there. This is one that I did and was really pleased with it. This is a Yann Kebbi recreation. And as you can see, just a lot of different, not a lot of different colors, really just red, pink, and yellow, and then regular drawing pencil, right? So very muted, not muted, but limited color palette with this one. But because I varied the lines so much, pulled in some markers that were still along the same color palettes as the limited palette with just the red, yellow, and really like pinky red. This one came out really cool. And I also just like again, this is like I mentioned before, because Yann Kebbi always has like so many things going on in his images. When you recreate it, I just pulled out this one piece of, you know, the master study. And yeah, I really enjoyed pulling this one together. I really like the texture. That's something else. Here are my notes from it. Visually interesting style, different lines, techniques, texture. And I know that we talked about these things as well. Proportion doesn't exist, right? Like I love that about his art. And so, yep, that's another example of how I have incorporated color pencil into my art practice. Okay. The last thing that I'm going to do is show y'all some of my favorite color palettes right now with my color pencils. Like I said, when I started this video off, I was trying to think of a way to talk about color pencils in a different, more helpful way, because there's so many videos out there with, great artists who, are just more knowledgeable about the tool itself. And that's not my jam. Like, that's not where my strength is related to this. My strength is more related to why I like the color pencils that I use right now, and then sharing like how I incorporate the lessons that I've learned related to color pencils. So this is one of the color palettes that I really, really like. And it is a mix of, are these all Karen Luminance? I think all of these are Luminance pencils, actually. They are. All of these are Luminance pencils. I don't know where my dark indigo is. But this is the light malachite green, rose. This is violet pink, violet gray, and then the two that I don't have over here are cork and then this is a dark indigo. But these are all Karen Dash. I keep wanting to say Karen Daashe. That that artist on here on YouTube says Karen Daashe, and that's what I always want to say. But these are luminance pencils, and this is my one of my favorite color palettes right now. Let's see. Oh no, Cork is from Holbein. Yeah. And this is a little nubby. But yeah, this is Cork. This is actually a Holbein pencil. These three are Karen, are luminous pencils. And then the dark indigo. These four are luminous. And then this one is Cork. And that's a Holbein pencil. So this is my favorite, one of my favorite color palettes right now. This video is way longer than I had intended it to be. So I'm going to share one more color palette, and it'll be the one that was in my other sketchbook. This is another one that I really love as well. This is a Polychromos. This is Phthalo Green. This is Derwent, Chromaflow, and Aztec Purple. Karen Daashe, Luminous, Malachite Green. And then the last one is another Derwent, Chromaflow, and Bondi Blue. I absolutely love these color palettes. And like I said, this one is like what this, and even this image, these two were used for. And then this color palette is, let me show you, from this image. So I really I love this color palette, and then that's how I use color pencils. And then this is this color palette, and then what it looks like with the way that my style of drawing. This is how I've been working through those two color palettes. So let me know in the comment section if you have any questions. I could do a second video about the different color pencils that I have right now and which ones are my favorite. And I do have like two other color palettes that I go back and forth between. Right now I have like 4 active color palettes that range between 3 to 5 colors. So let me know in the comments if that's something that you're interested in. I cannot believe that I am on video 7 of this series. I am so proud of myself for following through, and I did not plan to do this series. I've just been really motivated to talk more about some of the things that I have incorporated into my toolkit, because I feel like maybe it'll be helpful for someone else, and wanted to share that. And yeah, definitely check out the other videos in the series. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you on the next one.